Hey now, Petey Grizz here. Welcome back to part 2 of the journey through my Swiss Army knife collection as of whatever day today is, May 26, 2022. This is part 2 of the 91 millimeter knives continued. Let's get right into it. Next up on the list, one of my personal favorites lately, and I just gave this one a light scale polish. I didn't take it all the way down to perfect, but I got out a lot of the large scratches. It's a Hofritz branded Master Craftsman from the mid-70s. You can see I've got my suspension clip on here. This is one I enjoy carrying quite often. Got the tweezers with the beautiful aluminum tip. Got the toothpick, of course. Got that reamer. Bam. There it is. Whoop. There it is. Next up, we got, if I can get her out, the original, the early version of the fine screwdriver. No, it is not the chisel. The fine screwdriver originally looked like that. Then they changed it around the time of the Swiss Champs release. Then finally on the back, we got that fantastic squared tipped screwdriver, square screwdriver with the tip for opening can key tip. Wow, I really bungled that sentence. Anyway, gonna keep on trucking. Notice this comes from the period when the shields were typically nickel silver. However, what I've noticed is when they have another inlay, the other inlays wouldn't be nickel silver, so they would use a stainless steel shield to match the stainless steel inlays rather than having two shields that would develop a patina on one and not the other, and then they wouldn't match over time. Blah blah blah, yakety schmackety. These are the solid scales, unlike the modern ones, which are skeletonized. Outstanding. No half stop on the cap lifter with the screwdriver. Bang bong. That can opener. Patented in 1951. Got the 2D Phillips driver upon it. Next layer. Them scissors. Bong bong. And these scissors are kind of funny because the spring, which I actually believe is original, I think this is a factory slip-up of some sort, is set up for a reversed set of scissors. So I don't know. Yeah, I really don't know. Don't know where that would have come from. Don't know if it was replaced from another brand. It's identical to theirs, except it was bent backwards. The coil is basically the other way, and it's bent the other way. This bent part should be against it, not the tip. So still works just fine, but just a little weird. Funny little idiosyncrasy there. Got the straight up teeth on that straight up banging saw with the brushed finished. Outstanding little saw. Then we've got the metal saw on file. And this is my preferred version. The case hardened file can handle slightly harder material than the modern files, which are made out of stainless steel and tend to get a little funky looking. I think they decided it was more important to match the overall finish of the file to the modern tools and give up some of the effectiveness. It's a trade-off. Is it worth it? I don't know. Got the pen blade. Delicate little pen blade for sharpening your pen or erasing ink or whatever. We're just doing tiny cuts, little tiny baby cuts. Then we've got the last time I showed this in a video, this blade was all scratched up, and I recently gave it a light polish, and I think it looks tremendous. Let me give her a little wipe down there. Sorry about that, but man, she's pretty shiny. Still got a little haziness to it. I get a little impatient when doing this polishing stuff, but I think I do a pretty good job with it. I'm pretty happy with it. So, note, the one-line Hoffert stamp. I love finding that stamp on these knives. It's just something a little different, you know. Unfortunately, I traded away a couple of my Hoffert's knives, but I got some sweet knives for them. I traded away the triple stamper camper and my Hoffert salesman, but what I got in return was, I think I got the good end of the deal, but I think we're both happy with it, and that's what's important. Switzerland, stainless, rust-free, 3-line tank stamp, bong bong. That's the Master Craftsman. Next, its close cousin, the Ranger. This is also a mid-70s Ranger. This had I have a shortage of the aluminum tip tweezers right now. This originally came with aluminum tweezers, but I think I borrowed them to put in another knife for display. Might have been that. I think that Master Craftsman didn't come with tweezers, so I kind of borrowed them for that. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. They still do the job. They just don't look quite as cool. Note the stainless steel inlay, stainless steel shield. Note the tint is not striped on these ones like it is on the later ones that are printed. Pretty friggin' cool. Got that reamer still. Continues with the fine screwdriver. And now in lieu of the Phillips, we got the corkscrew. Bong, bong, bong. Same tools on top. Not going to go through them all again. Same exact tools as we just looked at. However, this has the 4-line Victorinox tang stamp. Crossbow officier Suisse. That's that one. I really love this little, this came with this, and I usually don't, I'm not big on like little dongles and stuff like that, but I really like how the vibe of that monkey fist, that leather monkey fist is super cool. And it's been on there for a long time. You can see the key ring has been like discolored by rubbing against that leather for so long, and the tannins or whatever chemicals are in there, urine or whatever they use to tan that leather. Next up, we've got a Craftsman. This is I'll have to look at it for a second. Let me check some things out here. Yeah, we still got the early fine screwdriver. Still got the square Phillips. Got that reamer, and I'm going to pull that again. How many reamers do you need to see? So, same tool set as before, but this beauty adds the descaler. This is basically the Champion B. The Champion B became the Craftsman in 1973 with the release of the Champion C, featuring the new, at that time, magnifying glass and inline Phillips driver. And it kept this, so it added a layer. So that was your Champ C. This was a Champ B until 1973. Then it became the Craftsman. Same file, metal saw, a little rusty. Still does the job. Same delightful blade. The 4-line tang stamp. The crossbow. The Officer Swiss. Stainless steel. Late 70s. Outstanding. Notice this is not missing a key ring. It was actually broken off when I got it. Still working on it, but I kind of ground it down so there's nothing to catch on. But I could work it a little perfect, so you can't see it there. I just did a rough job getting the sharp edges off it because I didn't want to get cut. Next up, well, looks like we got another Master Craftsman. And look, it's got the original owner's name stretched in it, which I think his name was Brian Lowe. Or A. Brylo, because there's AB initialed on here. Who knows? Very cool. Same back tools, same front tools. Difference being, same file. Only difference between this and the last one I just showed you is that this has that fantastic clip blade. Love the clip blade. It's got the aluminum tweezers. You know, outstanding. Beautiful. Gorgeous. Fantastic. Love this friggin' thing. Note that beautiful golden nickel silver shield. I love the look of the nickel silver shields. I think they're just outstanding. Next up is its close cousin and predecessor, the Champion B. And this was a gift from my wonderful friend Tim Askew. Be darned if I can't remember. He was serving on a destroyer during Vietnam and purchased this, I believe, in the Philippines. Purchased this in 1971. This has the bale. It's probably manufactured before 69. Who knows, really? I mean, the parts do get used later on. The Champion B, they might have kept the bale on the Champion Bs. Other than that, same tools as what I just showed you up top. One difference is, you'll notice, is the layout is completely different. On the other one I just showed you, the scissors came after the opening layer. On this one, the saw comes after, then the file, then the descaler, then the scissors. So they're completely jumbled up in there. And the cool thing about this is it has the early version of the metal file, which, as you note, I'll pull out the old one again, or the new one, not new one, but the later one again, just to show the difference. And you can see the tip. Look at the tip. They changed the tip to have a nail cleaner on it, which I think was a very prudent decision. I like that. Gives you a little more flexibility with your tools. Bong bong. Like that. What else is cool about this Champ C? It has the elusive and sought after long back nail file. Got the nail file surface on here. I really don't like these narrow nail files, but I do say this tip is great for cleaning out under your nails. But the thing with these is this one's a little loose. Some of them, a lot of them, the aluminum liners crack. They either fall out. A lot of them are missing this tip because they were used for prying or something stupid like that. But man, with the bale on a 6-layer knife like that, it just looks outstanding. You cannot beat that for a vintage Swiss Army knife. Now on to something a little different. The Cyber Tool Medium, or 34. This is an outstanding piece of kit right here. You get the plus scales, so you got that pen. You've got the micro screwdriver. You've got the pin. You get the hook on the back. I mean, you can do a lot with this guy right here. It's just great. You know, these little bit drivers are outstanding. You got your bit carrier right there. You've got several sizes of Torx. The cool thing, the Torx are all sized to fit on computers, hence the Cyber Tool thing. There are various types of computer construction that use these size Torx screws. They also happen to fit a lot of knives, so that's pretty cool too. You also get a 4mm hex head. You can use the socket as a 4mm wrench, and you get a Phillips and flathead screwdriver on there, in addition to the flathead you already have on the can opener and bottle opener, and the Phillips on the can opener. Then this also has a set of pliers with the crimping notch in the back. Great pliers. Nice thick pliers. Heavy duty. You know, for what they are, they're pretty solid. This is a great tool. I really love this one. It's just one of my favorites to carry when I feel like carrying a big boy. Another one of my favorites is this guy. This is my Handyman. This is certainly made after 2012. There's nothing vintage about it or anything like that. But it is just a freaking great set of tools. You still get all the accessories of the plus scales. Yeah, screw that in. That's bothering me. There we go. Let that lay down right. So in addition to the back tools, which I can never get this thing out easily, this has the wood chisel. And then we see the modern equivalent of the fine screwdriver, which is much more of a fine screwdriver, in my opinion. Boom, boom. Note that this reamer has the sewing eye in it. Then on top, we've got all the tools of the Master Craftsman, plus we get the pliers again. So you get your saw, your metal file, you get your wood saw, you get your scissors, you get your pliers. That is a great package right there. You cannot go wrong with that guy. Onwards and upwards to the Champ C. The Champ C is, you know, a legend. You know, this is pretty much this is the precursor to the Swiss Champ. This is Basically, Victorinox launching into the modern era of their knives. So you have all the same tools as on, this is an early one. So these came out as early as 1973. I don't think this is that early. Again, it's always hard for me to get that guy out when my nails are short. Got the fine screwdriver, the old school fine screwdriver. No plus scales on this. They hadn't come out with that idea yet. But what does this add to the Champion B? We get the 8-power gray housing magnifying glass with the glass lens instead of the modern plastic one. Note that the inline screwdriver is also longer on the ones that have the gray housing. Bong bong. Other than that, same set of tools we've been looking at. I'm not going to break them all out. If you guys want to look at those tools, break out your own. Now we've got its bigger brother, the Champ B, or the Swiss Champ, sorry. This one, I put some of these are the nylon scales that I've customized with a Dremel to give them some texture. They were just beat up and had no logo left on them, so I started trying to polish them and then realized the nylon just doesn't take polishing well, and I kind of gave them a faux wood grain finish. Anyway, now we've got the modern fine screwdriver on the back. Got the same magnifying glass. What does this add to the Champ C? Everything else is the Champ C plus the pliers. This is probably this is a 90s, early 2000s Swiss Champ. But it's just great. It's outstanding. It's fantastic. I love it. Whoa, what did I do there? Okay, and next up is the modern Swiss Champ. So, again, now we've got the chisel. We've got the modern fine screwdriver. We've got the hook. We got the reamer with the sewing eye. We get all the plus scale accoutrements. But notably, the notable difference is the larger clear housing magnifying glass, but with a plastic lens. So some people like them, some people don't. There is a difference in that the old ones were 8 power. These came out in 5 power and then increased to 6 power, I believe. I may have that wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. But anyway, the problem with that plastic lens is it gets scratched up a lot easier. And then, of course, because the lens is larger on that, you have a slightly shorter inline screwdriver. And my final 91 millimeter of note is my Hofritz SOS kit. So, in the SOS kit, you get a Swiss Champ. And this just isn't any Swiss Champ. This is the original Swiss Champ. This is the first year of the Swiss Champ. Early 1986, late 1985 possibly. Note, there is no hook on the back. It does have the modern fine screwdriver. And what you'll notice about this guy, the notable difference between this and the other one is that, notice there is no crimping notch on these pliers. Also, the pliers are significantly thinner. So, you look at that and compare the two. They are quite a bit thinner than the modern pliers, which changed shortly after. It's basically like the first year, maybe the first 2 years that have these skinny pliers. Then in the SOS kit, we've got a little sharpening hone. I'm not going to pull that out. We have a mechanical pencil, which I believe now they give you a pen that you can put refills in. I might be wrong about that, but I'm not that up on the SOS kit. The important thing to note that when I originally made this video, I did not have this piece, but this is the map compass. So you get a clear compass for scaling and laying out lines on a map. Spirit filled. It also acts as a spirit level. You know, if it's on a level surface, that dot will sit perfectly in the middle of that circle, so you can use it as a level. There are also, in this package, there are a number of bandages. There is some paper in there for writing notes on and stuff like that. There is a small ball of twine in there. And then there is a small pack of matches, which I'm not going to pull out. These matches are basically disintegrated at this point. Every time I pull them out, they just get worse and worse. So I'm just leaving them bad bears alone. So that puts part 2 of my collection in the books. Part 2 of like 12. So I kid, but I don't really know how long it's going on. I'm just playing this by ear. Once I see that timer start to hit 20 minutes, I break it up. But that is the end of my 91mm collection. I have more. There's duplicates. There's ones that are missing parts. I'm not going to show all those. It would just be ridiculous and redundant. I think it's redundant as it is. I was never big on these collection videos, but people ask for it, and I'm a man of the people. So I do as I ask. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Petey Grizz out.